There are two types of people in this world. First, there are people like myself, people that keep every single credential from every event they've ever worked, and then people that are wrong. Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. But if you're new here, my name is Mark and I'm a professional motorsport filmmaker. I travel all over the world filming car racing, and naturally, I have amassed a very large collection of credentials from all of these different events. And I do keep all of them because they're just cool little keepsakes. They have memories attached to them, and they're just a really easy thing to keep to remember all the different events you've worked. I keep them hanging on the back of my office door, although there are now so many that they've started falling off. But I'm trying to think of maybe a cooler way to display them. But yeah, I keep all of them because, come on, they're cool, right? I've done some videos on social media in the past, kind of some short videos showing off some of my favorite credentials. I also used to show like a video, I'd post a video every time that I got a new one, and I would hang it on the door. But I figured, why not make a long form video going over some of my favorites? We're not gonna look at all of them. There are a lot here. There's 5 years of professional motorsport here, as well as several years of professional football and other events that I've worked. But we'll take a look at some of my favorites, and I'll kind of explain how they're different. They have different features. Some are scannable, some are paper, some are plastic. They're all different, and you can get a cool look at some of my credentials. That sounds like fun, right? Who doesn't want to look at a stack of old credentials? So first up, we'll pull from the top. This is the 1,000 miles of Sebring World Endurance Championship. That's from this year. I didn't have a full season credential yet at the time, so I got a single event credential. There are basically two different types of credentials in terms of single event, which is for one event, and then there are full season credentials, which are for an entire year, and I do have one of those here. So this is like my IndyCar credential from last year, which was good for a whole season. And I don't need to apply for a credential for every race. It's good for the whole year. It's got some different stuff on it. They all have different things. Some have photos and some don't. But going back to this Sebring one, so on the back, there is some different language, things that are written in there, places that I'm allowed to go and be. It's also scannable, and at some tracks, they'll scan you in and out. So no one can just make a fake credential and flash it. You do have to be scanned in via that QR code. So that's that one. Next up we have, let's look at the IndyCar credential again. So this is last year's full season IndyCar. It's got my photo on it. This photo is amazing. It was taken by Jamie Price in the Daytona garage. I'm holding the Starbucks cup in one hand and waving. And somehow that got approved. But yeah, this is good for the whole season, and it would get me into the media center and trackside at every circuit. Next up, we'll go really recent. This is a Honda Indy Toronto credential for this year. So I only shot NASCAR on the Friday, so I only got a credential for the weekend. It was good for the whole weekend, but I only went on the Friday, and it's just a basic credential. You just flash this to any security, and you are good to go. Let's look at a non-football, or a non-racing one. Let's look at a football one. This is from the CFL Combine in 2019, sorry. So this is the CFL Combine 2019. It's just made of paper, it's flimsy. Just has my name on it, no photo or anything. And they were really, I remember them being like really sticklers about showing these and making sure you showed them. So yeah, it's just made of paper, very simple. This is an event where prospects from college come and run a bunch of drills and stuff. So the coaches from the various professional teams can see them before they enter the draft. So that was a really cool event. I've shot that event a few times. Next up, we've got, this is, I guess it's racing, it's horsepower. This is from the Queen's Plate last year. It's Canada's biggest horse race. It's like our Kentucky Derby. It's now called the King's Plate because sadly the Queen has passed on, and they changed the name to the King's Plate. And it was a cool event. I've done it 3 years in a row. It's gotten bigger every year. They sold it out this year. It's a lot of fun shooting horse racing. It's just a really cool event to shoot. Everyone looks amazing. They get dolled up in hats and dresses and suits and everything. And it's just a really cool that you only get one chance to shoot the race because it's one lap. So yeah, that is the Queen's Plate 2022. Let's go back to racing. So this is from the 24 Hours of Dubai in 2023, earlier this year. So the way Creventic, the promoter, does their credentials, if you watch my vlog from this event, I do have a full vlog that's linked in the description below from this event. Oh, I didn't include it, never mind, it's only from race day, but it was a huge pain getting this credential because no one understood like who was picking up when and whatever. But they basically give you one for the whole season. That's good for every race, even though I only did one race. And on the back, this is not a credential. This is the Team WRT hospitality suite. So I was doing some work for Team WRT over there in Dubai, and you needed this to get into their hospitality first off, but also get into their garage because of Valentino Rossi. So if you're not familiar with Valentino Rossi, he is the most famous motorcycle rider in the world, one of the world's most famous athletes, especially in Europe, and everywhere he goes, he gets mobbed. So he can't really go outside. So people will literally hang outside the garage for 8 hours trying to get his, autograph, trying to get him to shake their child's hand, just anything. It's really interesting. It's definitely a shock for me seeing it. I'd never seen anything like that. So you needed this to even kind of get close to their garage. The first pit stop, I'd cover this in the vlog. The first pit stop, it was so crowded you couldn't get anything, but I went back at 4 o'clock in the morning and got him getting in the car, and there was nobody there. So next up, this one is also, I guess, from Dubai. This is the Asian Le Mans Series full season credential from this year. So the past few years, the Asian Le Mans Series has done their entire 4-race championship in 2 weekends in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So I did the whole season earlier this year in February. It was really cool. It was a shitload of work. I got very worn out because it was a lot of racing in a very short period of time with back-to-back races on Saturdays and Sundays, 2 weekends in a row. But that is the season pass they give you. So it's got some things on the back that you probably just saw. Like I have access to the paddock, media center, and everyone's is different because the passes are the same. It doesn't say media. It just says, it's just season pass. So everybody had the same season pass. Next up, we have a football one again. So this is my Tiger Cats TV ones for sideline access at Hamilton Tiger Cats games in 2018. It's got my photo. I got so much play out of that photo. That was my LinkedIn photo for like 10 years. It's like I'm still using that photo. It still looks like me, right? It still looks like me, doesn't it? Yeah. But yeah, that is that. And on the back, there's just a map of the stadium. So you can like help people that are lost. There you go. Next up, we have, that one I showed you earlier was actually from 2022. This is the 2023 Sebring one. Before I had my full season credential, it even has a little sticker there. The sticker meant you were coming to the testing weekend as well, the weekend before. So you had to have that to be allowed into the test. What else do we have? Lamborghini World Finals. So there's 2 here. There is a media and a full access, and these are for Lamborghini World Finals at Portimao last year. I loved being at Portimao. This event was so chill. It was a lot of fun. Portimao quickly became one of my favorite circuits, if not my favorite circuit. So much fun to shoot. So I've always had that memory attached to this. I went with Jamie Price. We stayed together, and we just had an absolute blast. If you ever see Jamie Price or myself at the racetrack, ask us the no pass guest story. No pass guest, and we'll tell you the story from Portimao. Next up, this is my IMSA full season credential from 2021. So it's got my photo on it. I look like Gumby because it's all like, blurred. There's some stickers on there from one of the tracks for media center photo, whatever. There's also a 2. Which is the second floor of the Petit Le Mans Media Center, just saying you're allowed to go up there and get food. The back has so much sticker residue because back then in 2021, the first half of the year, we were still doing COVID checks at every day when you entered. You had to do the survey, you had to get your temperature check, and you get a sticker like this Shamrock one. That's from St. Patrick's Day actually in Sebring, saying you were allowed in, and the E on the sticker means essential. So that's what the stickers on that one are for. This one's hilarious. This is one from the Mitchell Bowl. So the Mitchell Bowl is one of Canadian college football's semi-final bowl games. And we were in Calgary for a CFL game that weekend, and we tried to walk through the field to get to where we needed to go to set up, and the lady there said, well, you need to have a credential, and I said, well, we don't have them, and she said, well, I'll get you one. So she gave us these literally so we could walk across the sideline to the other side of the stadium. So Mitchell Bowl 2017. What else do we have? Here's another funny one. This is from when I shot professional basketball for the Hamilton Honey Badgers of the Canadian Elite Football League, which doesn't exist anymore. Well, the team doesn't exist anymore. The league still exists. But yeah, that's basically what that is. They just hired me to shoot a couple games, and that was the pass they gave me when I showed up, written in marker. What else do we have here? Oh, this one's cool. So this is a Toledo NCAA football game versus Eastern Michigan in 2019. I just asked them if I could come to this game and shoot, and I'd share the footage with them because I really wanted to get some experience shooting football, and they said sure. So I just went out and had a great time. It poured rain, it was freezing cold, but I got really cool stuff and had a good time filming it. So that is a Toledo NCAA football game. What else do we have here? We've got lots of credentials. Where was that? Yeah, okay, here we go. This is the FIA Motorsport Games from 2019. Motorsport Games is kind of like the Olympics of motorsport that they've been running. It's got lots of different events, drifting, Formula 4, sports cars, karting, and I went to shoot for Team Canada and also Team Australia. So I won a gold medal in the GT Sprint with Team Australia. So it was really cool. And that actually led to me going to Adelaide for supercars. So I'll always cherish this one because it's got a lot of great memories. Took my friend Brent with me as a second shooter, and we just had a great time staying in Le Castellet in France, right in the historic medieval town. And we had a lot of fun. So that's one I'm always going to cherish. This one is another like flimsy paper one. This is from GT Open in 2023 at Spa earlier this year, and it just says media. It's like a full season one basically. You can use it for every single race. And yeah, just shot one GT Open event, and that's what they gave me. So what else do we have here? Okay, here we go. Here's a big one. Here's a heavy hitter. These are the credentials they give you for the 24 hours of Le Mans. And this was the one for this year. As you'll see, it is flimsy and it is paper. And we taped it shut so the credentials wouldn't fall out because they only give you one. They do have to get scanned every day. So even though it has my photo on it and all that, you do have to have it scanned every day to get in and out. And we had issues getting in on race day, which was amazing. The numbers just signify where you're allowed to be. There is a legend. You can pause to read it on the back. These are different for every year, so I feel comfortable showing this to you. And of course, it has to be scanned. So you can see them. The TF sticker on the bottom there was just to go into the TF Sport Team Hospitality. Just because they didn't want randoms wandering in, which is something that happens a lot at the European circuits. People literally just wander into garages thinking that they can just go in there and literally just steal snacks and stuff. It's really weird. Getting this credential was very convoluted. The media site to sign up to get your credential is very much slanted towards people who speak French. If you don't speak French, you're gonna have a bad time. Luckily, I speak enough French that I was able to figure it out. Next up is the 24 hours of Spa last year in 2022. So this is just a single event for that. On the back, it just has some information. You're shooting and your pit lane tabard is going to be green. So you're allowed to shoot in the pit lane. The great thing about this is we always joke that in Europe, it's never easy to pick up your credential. They're always in a really weird spot. This was like 2 towns over from Spa in a hayloft outside of town. That's where you had to pick your credential up. Like at Monza this year, we had to pick them up like in a building downtown, nowhere near the circuit. So it's just a running joke that always like in Europe, they love making you go somewhere really weird to get your credential. What else do we have here? I'll do a few more and I'll try to keep this video somewhat short. Oh, here we go. This is from the 104th Grey Cup. So the Grey Cup is the CFL Super Bowl, the Canadian Football League's championship game. This was the first one that I worked. Yes, in Toronto in 2016. So that's it there. Has all the access there. I'm allowed everywhere but team sideline during the game. So that was that. I used to work for the CFL. So that was what we got for the CFL. Then we also got, this is from the 2016 season as well. This is just like a pass for all the games for the season. So I can just go into any game with this, no problem. And I did go into some games for free, just went to some games. But they told us it was okay. Do a couple more. What's this one? 2019 IMSA. Oh, here we go. This is the first time I ever shot IndyCar. This was a credential for Indianapolis in 2021. First time I ever shot IndyCar on the road course there. They had a NASCAR and IndyCar weekend. They still do that now. Had pit and paddock access. It's right on the back and the front there. And it was really cool to get to shoot IndyCar. You needed a separate pass for NASCAR, which is probably around here somewhere. In fact, here it is. So this was the passes they were using that said essential on them. I think they still say this. I started doing this during COVID, and that was for the NASCAR race. So, and they just write your name on it. You have to carry ID. They can ask you at any time to show them your ID. The last one we'll look at is not really a credential, I guess, because I think they're doing wristbands. A lot of the grassroots events just do like wristbands and stuff. Oh wait, never mind. This side is media. So this side's media. This is on Labor Day last year, so almost a year ago. And then the other side has the Nissan Sentra Cup hospitality. Last year, I did an influencer gig with Nissan for the Nissan Sentra Cup, which in Canada is like a one-make Nissan Sentra series, like a spec series. And they run as support to a bunch of the bigger Canadian events. And they asked me to come out, so this was so I could get in and get a trackside vest to shoot. And then this was so I could go in their hospitality and have breakfast and lunch and all of that. Put me up in a nice hotel, and it was a lot of fun. So those are not all of, but some of my credentials that I have amassed over the last 7-8 years of working as a professional videographer. Hopefully you enjoyed checking all of these out. There are, of course, more. Maybe one day I'll do a rundown of every single one, but figured I'd just give you, some of the cooler ones. I have some more that are still active for this year that I can't show you because I don't want to get in trouble, because people do, unfortunately, act unscrupulously and make fake ones and try to get into events. There are fake credentials that get confiscated every year. So it's unfortunate, and people do try to sneak in with fake ones. The coolest ones, like we got some at the CFL that were like incredibly fake, like didn't even look real at all. People just made their own to try and get past security. But yeah, but let's look at all of my credentials for the last 7-8 years. Hopefully you enjoyed checking them out. I love just keeping these and having the keepsakes and checking them out and being able to look back and see the different events that I've worked at. So hopefully you enjoyed looking at them as well. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I thank you. I really appreciate that you didn't have anything better to do. And please like, subscribe, all of that. It goes a long way. I know every YouTuber says it, but leaving comments, everything, it goes a long way. Share it with your friends, and let me know some video ideas that you have in the comments, anything you want to see me do. If you have other stuff in my collection you want to see, I've got a lot of apparel, I've got lots of hats. If there's anything else that you want to see, let me know, and we can take a look at those in future videos. But again, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me look at my old credentials. Really appreciate it. But until next time, we'll see you in the next one.